The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. The Rap Roundtable returns with another edition, another edition, another installment of the vaunted Lunch Hour. The homie Schoolboy Q has finally released his latest project, Blue Lips. You know, a lot of people have some issues with the album title. I say to you, grow up. Again, like if you have an issue with the name of the album title and your thoughts went
listen.
in a
We ain't nobody to
specific
be telling
direction,
nobody to grow up.
nah, this is going too far now.
Facts,
Because
Sid.
if you think about a dude when you think about Blue
Oh
Lips and not
man.
a woman in blue lips, and based on the album cover, it's clearly a woman
A
with blue
lady.
lips. That says a lot more about you than anything about pausing or whatever. Now you've jumped over the line of immaturity. Like, granted, we need to grow up too, but it's like everything is always within a specific window. Y'all been reaching for a month now with this blue lips thing. Think about it. Why would y'all think about a dude with blue lips? I don't know. Maybe I need to, you know what I'm saying? If that's your vice. Hey, you know what I mean? But Schoolboy Q
Right.
put this album out, and the
Yeah.
Rap Roundtable has got to talk about it before we do
Yeah,
so. Make
absolutely.
sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you run the comments up. Make sure you subscribe. Do the necessary. Roundtablemerch.com. Get you one of these. If you feeling generous, hit the Cash App. Follow us on socials on X or Twitter or Facebook, Instagram. All these things. You already know the rules. 300 likes on every video. Now, Schoolboy album is out. Enough of the pleasantries. To sit a rap snob. You've had some time to sit down with this music. What are your thoughts? There's a consensus on the internet already, but what does the Rap Roundtable have to say about it?
Right. I ain't even looked at the internet chat, so like that's not feeding into my my takes at all. Where do I start? So we've been building up. Well, he's been building up for this album release. The rollout has been impeccable. I love the rollout. He definitely had the hype machine turned up to 10. I was super hyped. We've been having reactions to the rollout, and some people have been saying that we might be gassing it or whatever. And so I turned on the album and played it just once all the way through. And I don't know, maybe we was gassing it a little bit, just a little bit. It's not. To me, it's not necessarily the classic-esque or magnum opus that I might have been expecting. It's still a great album. It's a good album. It's a good listen all the way through. But I don't know if I got necessarily what I was expecting, at least on the first go-round. I don't know why, but I had a feeling that like after Yearn 101, there was gonna be another like official lead single. We never got that. Blue Slides is on it, which is fire. Lovebirds is dope. The joint with Freddie Gibbs, Ohio, was fucking with that heavy. Obviously, Schoolboy Q and Alchemist always link up to give you heat. But I feel like I didn't quite get that wow song on the album. You know what I mean? I didn't get that knock your socks off song on the album. It's a good listen all the way through though, so I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I'm gonna give it its props for that. The production is tight. Schoolboy is definitely, you know what I mean, like in an elite class right now in terms of not just the bars, but his rap style. You know what I mean? That's definitely the plus that I give for this project. Is and you know it's always the case with Schoolboy. Like he's always gonna give you a fresh style that's all his own. But that being said, I'm gonna give the album a few more spin throughs, obviously. But on the first listen, again, like I didn't like. There's no that part for me. You know what I mean? Or there's no like hands on the wheel type of track for me. Not on the first listen at least. And I was expecting like maybe like at least one or two of those like, yo, this is the joint right here. Like I'm gonna spin this back crazy. But as a body of work, it flows well. You know what I mean? It's it's cohesive. But I'm gonna need a few more listens to get like the real consensus of it. But on first listen, maybe I was gassing. Maybe it's my own problem, but it didn't hit me the way I thought it was gonna hit.
Deanie the balance. Tap in, bro.
I'm shocked, son. I'm really shocked. Off my one spin, I felt like I was on a journey. You get what I'm saying? I felt like I was one with the force on this album, bro. Like I thought shit connected. The sonics were grandiose. The instrumentation was impeccable, bro. Like the 70s themes, like the pace that we got from him jumping back into the high speed schoolboy flow to the down fucking slow in pocket, you know what I'm saying, type rhythms. You get what I'm everything. I thought I got everything, bro. I got melodic schoolboy, I got vibe schoolboy, I got mood schoolboy. I thought this album was fire. Like, is it as good as Oxymoron? Probably not. You know, but I probably would put this on the first listen. I can't tell you exactly. I'm talking about the purely first listen of what I got from it. I probably would put it above Blank Face. I probably would have it right behind Oxymoron on first listen.
Yeah,
on first listen. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I got exactly what I wanted from this album. Just like when you watch a movie, you know an actor does what he does. But I was pleasantly surprised because there was new aspects of Schoolboy that I haven't got before. You get what I'm saying? But I did get all the stuff that I already do love from him, which I think is when you do anything that you do, you should do that for your family. If they love you for something, you get what I'm saying? You should give them that. Even if you want to give them a new part of yourself, you should still give them that part that you know they love, because you love your fans and they love what you do. So it makes sense. I thought it was fire. I really, C word is heavy. You get what I'm saying? Especially on the first listen. It's very hard to determine that on first listen. But on the first listen, I like what I heard. I like the features. I like the cohesiveness of the album. I like the flow of the album, the pace. I thought it was fire. You know, usually I see 19 tracks and lose my mind. You get what I'm saying? And go, whoa! I did not feel like that. It was still an hour. It was concise, and there was a lot of dope music on there. So I fuck with it.
I mean, I'm very disappointed as to say today. I should have asked this guy what he thought a little bit before we went on the air, so we could have started this off a little more positively. Because if he thinks that anyone is going to be in lockstep with that take, then goddamn. Another thing, I'm gonna be a little slanderous now. If Kendrick would have made the same album, he would have hopped on here and called it a classic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's how you feel about this album. Like, put it this way: like, is there a big quote single? You know, no, I don't know. I don't think so. Is that the purpose of this album? No, you know what I mean? Like, this album right here, for me, it sure seemed like it was like it felt to me, because I ran it back to back. I'm on my third listen, and it sounded to me more like release therapy. Like, this guy was going through whatever he was going through. Not everything's not dramatic, but whatever he was going through, whatever growth he was going through as a man, it was conveyed on this project. Well, I won't lie to y'all. When I first put on Funny Guy, I'm like, yo, what is this? You know what I mean? Right. Not gonna lie. For the sake of clarity, I'm like, I was a little confused by the intro, but then it built towards something. There was a lot of thought, a lot of attention to detail. Again, like some guys, people just make albums. I ain't gonna call no names, but it's just rap songs compiled and released. There's no connective tissue. There's nothing that makes track 5 related to track 11 or something like that. You know what I mean? This album had a lot of connective tissue. In some ways, it reminded me of Soul Separately, where there was themes throughout that made it feel like part of a bigger picture. Even the little skits, the vibe of it. Like, for me, like, again, what I've always loved about Q is like his albums. He's a West Coast guy, and he takes you on that journey. From his perspective, you feel like you're listening to in some cases, some of these skits, it felt like I was listening to an older album, the way like they just popped in, you hear the people talking, they play their little card games, things of that nature. There's another point where Schoolboy Q was talking about working through whatever in situations like that. And I'm like, this album, like, it's fire to me. Like, I love this album. The intro and the first half of Pop made more sense on the second spin than it did on the first spin, because it wasn't new anymore, and the album made sense as it flowed. Like song for song, it's just like, are there songs that I'm gonna go back to in the long term? Probably not. But I'll say 18 tracks, because the 19th track is the music video. There's probably only about 4 of those where I might not revisit. Like, I love this album. On this album, the sonics, the themes, the shit he talking about, sprinkling in the little gangsterisms, but it's mostly a lot of growth, a lot of talking about where I'm at in my life, my daughters, how comfortable I am, how uncomfortable I was at certain points, the social commentary that he was sprinkling in, even talking about like seeing the devil on TV and looking towards religion to be saved and shit like that. Then Freddie Gibbs on Ohio. Gibbs is making me ready for the next album because his last couple of features is like, wait a second. You know what I mean?
Salute to Gibbs.
There's a track that I love a lot on here, Lost Times with Jazzy. Like the Cooties is fire. You know what I'm saying?
Times, that's the Alchemist joint. You know what I mean?
Yo, the two-piece combo, thank God for me into Blue Slides. Oh my God. Like, this album right here, like I'm really surprised, son. Because again, like I'm in 2 different group chats where it was unsolicited. Niggas flew into the chat saying this album is fire. One of the West Coast homie Baylor said like he said tripping. You know what I mean? I got a text this morning from a former colleague, Schoolboy and Spitting. Like niggas is loving this album, and I'm niggas. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this album is fire. Like, well, then let's be clear. We talked about it in the lead up. Is this gonna be his classic? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not willing to say that off of 2 listens, but I do think that this album has a lot of playback appeal. Like this is going to be an album we're going to run and we're going to run and we're going to run. And as time goes along, I don't think it's going to be polarizing, but there's going to be people who have this album rated very highly as time goes along. You know what I'm saying? I'm still looking at this track list like Nunu, Fire, First, like these joints, the joint 4 with Ab Soul, Fire, like, and to me, it's the album's a little trippy too, where that kind of fits in with who Schoolboy Q is, the person. Right. And I'm just like, the sonics and the rapping is going to carry this project. This is not just a bunch of raps. This is a body of work. I'm fucking with it, son.
Nah, look, everything you said, I pretty much agree with. So again, maybe the issue was with me because I look, everything surrounding this release, you know what I mean? Kendrick is no longer on TDE. You know what I mean? Schoolboy stepping into those shoes. I you know what I mean? Like I wanted something that's to me sat somewhere between maybe Oxymoron and Blank Face at the very least. You know what I mean? To me, this is, I mean, I like it better than Crash Talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say that, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. Like, I will also go back to spin back the whole discography in one, you know, in one swoop, to see exactly where this sits. But right now, it's Oxymoron, Blank Face, and then this. Okay. You know what I mean? This album. So, again, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that it is whack. I'm just saying that I was expecting maybe something a little bit more grandiose than this.
What do you think about that, Deanie?
I agree with you, Kendrick. Sin. As a Sonic project, this is better than Mr. Mid.
So let me ask you, it's not. But let me ask you this: was this worth the 5-year wait to you?
Yeah. It was. Okay. It was. I really like this album. Off first listen. I think I'm gonna like it more as I keep going. Because I really fuck with the tracks that I fuck with.
Yes, of course it's better than Mr. Morale and the Big Sentence. It's like, you know what I mean? Like
it's not, but okay.
It is, and sonically,
it's not.
You know, and this is why it's like when it comes to Kendrick, we're just gonna disqualify you because it's like you're not to be trusted. It's like you can't be objective with this kid, and it's really crazy. You'll be the first one wanting us to be objective about everybody else, but when Kendrick comes along, nothing is better than what Kendrick does. That's bullshit. But it's like this album is better. Like, you know what I mean? And maybe you need some time with it, and it won't be the first time we disagreed about something or releasing it a few months or a year or two later. You'll come back around. You know, that album was actually
shit happens.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like for a 5-year hiatus to give us this body of work that's not all over the place. You know what? Kendrick did the same thing. Let's call it. As a matter of fact, let's talk about it. It was fair. Kendrick did the same kind of thing coming off his hiatus where he was going through some things and he needed to convey his feelings. And Kendrick, you know what? For the sake of honesty and clarity, he is a much more complex version from the outside looking in, complex person from the outside looking in than a Schoolboy Q. So I'm willing to grant him that grace to say that if he was to get through whatever he needed to get through, the album is going to sound much different than whatever Q is going through. You know what I'm saying? And in the years past, of course, Kendrick would make that album because he's a little more artsy, he's a little more emotional, because he's a more dynamic personality. So he's gonna make something that sounds like a Mr. Morale, just like he with To Pimp a Butterfly. He's willing to take those risks because that's what I guess in a lot of ways pleases him and gives him that particular artistic freedom. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't even think that Mesito pulling in right now. I don't even think when it comes to this album that it's not even in the same zip code as the previous Schoolboy Q albums. That's what I'll say. Like this is something else. Like to me, this is like, you know, you got the road and the exit on the freeway. Like he's just exited off. He's artistically now willing. He's starting to take the risk, and that's why again I got to give Sin some grace. Sin will be the nigga that would say, yeah, he made this album, but Kendrick been here and he been right here. I've been in this lane. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Welcome. I feel like that would be Sincere's argument, and he's listening to it from that perch as opposed to us. It's like, oh, this album is fire. Like my nigga did that already 2 albums ago. You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it. But for me, it's just
Salute
like
Sin.
In a vacuum. To me, this album is better than Mr. Morale. No attacking against Kendrick. I just like the way he was able to convey all of his feelings, take some chances, take you on a trip. I think as soon as you listen to it more, you're gonna love it more. This is coming off of one. Again, this is a caveat season.
Facts.
This is one listen for Sin. When the more you go back, because again, on my second listen, this album immediately graded higher for me on the second listen. I'm on my third listen, it's gonna grade higher again because to me it just has everything you want from an album in the era of raps on beats. Here, I ain't calling no names. I'm gonna keep saying that. Here's some raps on beats. This is a clear artistic leap from some of the shit that we've been talking about here recently. Mesito just pulled in. I won't blow V8 anymore.
Mesito.
Blue Lips is out. What are your thoughts?
Fellas, interesting. We going there already, huh? I mean,
yes, sir.
I mean, we've been cooking for like.
We've been here for a little minute.
Listen, man. If without even knowing where the table is coming from, off rip, yeah, it's better than Mr. Morale in the midst of it. But listen, like if that's what we going on for rip, how do you feel about the album Blue Lips? Dope album. It first listen was a little bit difficult for me. You know what I mean? I feel like almost in the sense of, and I do want to give Kendrick credit because Kendrick did come to mind on early in the album. Early in the first listen of the album, Kendrick I did think of him. Because clearly it's put together in the vein of a Kendrick album, right? Skits all over the place. Deep subject matter, very personal.
And who said that was gonna happen? It's just
I'm not mad at him. Kendrick is you know,
you got the Kendrick budget. You know what I mean?
Salute, Sin.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at that. I mean, if you're gonna be influenced by somebody, I know Deanie thinks otherwise. What if you're gonna be influenced by somebody? Kendrick, the people that you should be. You know what I'm saying?
He's a game changer.
Sense because number one, he was really giving a fuck about putting together this album, and almost a sense of almost Good Kid, Mad City, where it's like you kind of had to train yourself to listen to our album differently, right? This is not like, you know, to quote the random celebrity rapper, just a bunch of tunes. Like this is like an album that you have to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like if you used to listening to, and this is not even an insult because this is including rappers we even like. Most rappers just been putting together a lot of songs recently. You know what I'm saying? So listening to something like this, at first I was taken aback. I was like, I couldn't even. I'm gonna be honest. At first I had to take it off because I'm like, I gotta pay attention to this more than I am. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing other shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, I actually gotta listen to this album. So With that being said, by the time I got to it on the second album, and I was like, okay, I see where bro is coming from. I was a big fan, you know what I'm saying? And you know, early in the year, I know whatever, but clearly album of the year material, if you ask me, you know what I'm saying? Q has always been a person who put together his albums well. Blank Face, Oxymoron. Q has a great discography, so let's not act like, you know what I'm saying, he's not one of them guys. But listen, I'm fucking with it. Blue Slides, Lost Times. What's track 3? Track 3 it might be my favorite.
Thank
joint
God
on
for
here,
me.
man.
Thank God for
me.
fire.
My favorite joint on here.
Fire, bro.
It's some
classic Schoolboy.
Hell yeah, classic Schoolboy.
Cooties, movie, like this album, bro.
Soul, Ohio.
The production is versatile, but cohesive. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all over the place, but it fits together. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
Q's rapping is on point, bro. Like Q is rapping his ass off on here. Great songwriting. You know, I'm picking the album right now. I didn't know where everybody else was at with it, but I'm like, after a couple listens, I'm still not through my third listen. I'm about halfway through my third listen because this is kind of an album you gotta kind of pay attention to. But I'm feeling, I'm fucking with it so far. I'm interested, you know, at least to know where everybody stands, at least as far as the quality of the album. Are we all on board with this being a very dope album?
Well, we will have to reset the show then. So for the sake of a reset, Sincere is on the fence.
Right.
Deanie's bought stock. I've bought all the stock. That's where we're at with it.
And I feel vindicated from the talk we had the other day. You know, when people were saying, you know, we might have been gassing it. People are saying, you know, we dragging it. Q is not this, not that. I feel vindicated. I feel like, see, this is what we were saying, guys. So I'm with all the stock right now. If you ask me,
talk about it.
I'm on the island. I'm on the
Sinstein Island.
I'm really shocked, bro.
Yeah.
Like I think this is to me. This check all the sincere boxes. Like your reaction right now is really mind blowing, bro. You know what I mean?
But that's just the first. I think Sin will change on more spins. I think so. I think you'll come around.
Listening to it, I felt like I would have been the last to come to you know, grips with how dope this album was. But I'm shocked, Sin. Really.
Well,
not to put you on the spot, you the guy that says the album is whack.
Look,
you know?
Complete transparency. Like this has happened with Schoolboy Q in the past. You know what I mean? Like, Schoolboy is, I don't know. Like, I feel like he's kind of like enigmatic in a way where like you feel like you know what you're gonna get yourself into going into an album, and then it's not what you thought it was gonna be, and then so the first listen is like, well, shit. Like I thought I was going left, and he went right. You know what I mean? And so like I was almost reluctant to like do a reaction to it off of just one early morning listen with this album,
right?
Because like you said, Mace. So again, Kendrick being out of the picture, and I'm sorry that I'm framing it this way, but it is what it is. Like Kendrick being out of the picture, and I'm looking at Schoolboy like, you're the new Kendrick of TDE, and maybe that's probably unfair. That's probably unfair on my part. You know what I mean? And so like I'm looking for something that is far and away like different from like just groundbreaking, far and away different from anything else that he's done or that anybody's done, really. And so maybe I put too much pressure on this album. I was listening to it. As I was listening to it, I was like, I felt like you, Mace. I was like, shit, I should probably pause because my brain was elsewhere. Because I don't want to get into personal stuff, but my brain was elsewhere, and I was like, damn, I wish I could just like pause this and come back to it later when my brain is a little bit more focused on, because I could tell like the way he was crafting it, the way he put it together, it's like he's definitely telling you a story, but I wasn't tapped into the story that he's telling because my brain was going in different directions. So maybe on Monday's live You know what I mean? I'll come back after a few more spins, give you a better assessment of how I feel about it. But like, but then also just being honest, the production is solid, not necessarily my style of production for my ear.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, but I see the vision. I see the vision though. I see the vision.
Now we're gonna give Sin some grace. He got a lot going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he needed the crash talk energy or the oxymoron energy to get his mind frame and where it needed to be. So on a spin back, Sin, let us know by Monday. We need your full assessment of the album. Right now, it's the greatest and incomplete for Professor Sincere. Schoolboy got to do some more work.
Nah, Schoolboy's done all the work.
That's funny.
It's you know what I mean? It's on me. You know what I mean?
And
fair enough.
That's what I'll say is similar to what Kendrick usually does once again, and not Mr. Morale. But I feel like this album is clear. I can clearly see this not being everyone's taste, but I don't think that the quality itself can be in question with the album. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's clearly a high quality album. It's just, I can see you being like, well, this ain't my type of beat, this ain't my type of flow, you know what I'm saying? But I think that's the good thing about Schoolboy is that he doesn't have an everyman likes this type of style, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's one thing about the album that I can understand.
That's why I'm like, I know Sin on a couple more listens. He gonna be like,
come around.
He gonna come around, bro. Like this is your cup of tea. We were supposed to hate the album, bro. You know what I mean?
Your bag.
This is the album we come on and we talk bad about. You know what I mean? Like since Sin's supposed to be the one to tell us we're stupid, we don't know what we're talking about.
Vintage Schoolboy Q with a sprinkle of introspection. That's Sin's alley. So I thought you would have loved it, Sin. I'm shocked, brother.
All right, chat. Let us know. You know what I mean? What do y'all think? I already know y'all been cooking as it is, but let us know. Final thoughts, thumbs up, thumbs down for Blue Lips. I get the feeling this album is going to be split down the middle with the chat, because the chat, they're very particular about what they like and who they hold a particular standard to these days. So I'm really curious about what the chat has to say, but let's get into some Nas talk. The homie Nas making more news outside of the rap space. In years past have been the naysayers and the detractors who felt like Nas was just a rapper. He wasn't making bread. He wasn't in the mix how he was supposed to be in the mix. We know all the narratives. We know all the stories. But in the past 2 or 3 years, you've heard a lot of news about Nas, stretching his reach, becoming a business man. And the latest news is he's taking part in the expansion of the Resorts World Queens Casino. And I think that's a big deal. He's a Queens native. There's been talk about Jay-Z being involved in a potential casino coming into Manhattan. So I love to see real estate Esco getting into this mix in his borough, essentially creating jobs. But if they expand, that means you're creating jobs, you're creating opportunity, potential economic boost to the city. It's a good look. To say the rap snob, your man Esco's doing big things, Well, how does this make you feel to see him finally getting that respect he deserves across the board?
More wins for Esco, man. My guy Nas. Listen, this is how I feel you balance out the culture with the commerce. I'm very big on balance in terms of those two things. You know what I mean? Like you can't, as a legend, as a somebody that has a certain level of esteem in the game, I feel like you can't just lean too much towards one side and too much towards the other side. You know what I mean? You have to have a balance of the two to maintain that status. And I feel like Nas right now is really balancing it beautifully. We saw last year what he did for Hip Hop 50, showed out, put the culture on his back for the show. We also know that he has a hand in the Hip Hop Museum that will be opening up in the Bronx. We haven't heard too much news from it, but I looked it up. I think it's still slated to open up later on this year, if not early 2025. So that's still in the books, and he has a hand in that. And so for him to not only represent for the culture and do things that are culturally relevant, but then also, getting his bread up, getting that bag, you know what I mean? And so and what I love about this move with the Resorts is that it's in Queens. You know what I mean? If nothing else, Nas really puts on for his town. not just New York as a whole, but his town, Queens. Like he's very heavy Queens. You know what I mean? And so I love to see it. My only, I don't know, my only concern is when these real estate things happen. Sometimes, you know what I mean, like certain people get displaced. You know what I mean? Like the development happens, and then like the prices of properties go up, and then like the people that suffer are the people that, you know, have less than. So I'm hoping that somehow they're able to work this out and not have to, you know what I mean, displace anybody in Queens, in those neighborhoods. You know what I mean? But recently Queens has been, you know, gentrified to death anyway, so like it might be a little too late for that borough, but I digress. Either way, regardless, Nas winning, stacking W's on top of W's, chips on top of chips, got the music, got the 6-album run with Hit Boy, represent for the culture with Hip Hop 50 in the Hip Hop Museum, and now like really putting his portfolio, his business portfolio together, and you know what I mean, getting right up there with, you know, the other heavyweight, you know, of the town.
True.
So, listen, put more respect on Nas's name. If you've ever fronted on him, if you're continuing to front on him, it's time to stop that bullshit. Like, you got to put respect on that man's name today.
Oh, Meccito, jump in, bro.
Sin, you know, 100% right. Definitely puts him in a different stratosphere business-wise. I feel like Nas' business move, I don't know who's exactly in Nas's team. We know, like, a lot of the people 50 deal with. We know a lot of the people, you know, Jay deals with. I don't know who's or in Nas's team, but they handling business like crazy, right? Like, you mentioned the museum, you mentioned giving back, or I'm not sure if you mentioned, but giving back the face in Rakim, something that I believe they're going to continue,
that too,
you know, for years down the line. I'm excited. Yeah, the Paid in Full Foundation.
Thank you for
I'm
reminding me
excited to see where that goes, giving back for real to everybody, to the genre that gave us all, that's giving us, you know, this podcast, you know what I mean? Dope shit, like Hip Hop 50, like Nas, like his business moves, like I don't know who compares to Nas's business moves in the last, calendar year, 2 years? Like, this shit been crazy. You know what I mean? We find out Boldy James is with Master Fair. We find out all type of shit Nas is on. Like,
listen, you know, I say this before I pass it to Deanie. It's like the mayor of New York City been doing bad. We might have to get Esco the mayor now. The moves he's making out here in the city. You know, we already got one Mixie man. What's wrong with two Mixie men? You know what I mean? Deanie, man, this is your guy. You know, you championed him leveling up, you know, and getting his respect. I know this makes you feel good to see, man.
I'm here and there with this. You know what I'm saying? A big part of me is, if anyone deserves this is Nas, for all the reasons Sincere just mentioned, all the reasons Mace just mentioned. You get what I'm saying? Just and for all the times he's pushed this aside in his career. Like, I feel like Nas has been pushing these kinds of deals away his whole career, even if it's just little commercials. He's just been denying a lot of shit, whether for right or wrong, whether it's his own perspective or he just didn't fuck with the shit altogether. He just always denied a lot of shit. So it's good to see him being open to making moves. You know what I'm saying? The business acumen has been phenomenal over the last few years. My only gripe is, we need more casinos in New York City, my nigga. Like, that was my only gripe, bro. Like, between his shit and the whole shit, I respect it.
I mean, like technically, Resorts World is already here. They just expanded.
Right. They said they're gonna make room for, I think, 3,000, you know, employees and shit like that. You know, they're gonna be like a 10-acre park. They are gonna do things, but unless they're building this shit on water, my nigga, people are gonna get displaced. It's just the way it goes. You get what I'm saying? So you can't, in order to build, you got to destroy. Take it from that man himself. You get what I'm saying? So I'm happy. I respect it. I dig it. And I can't even knock him, because as much as I want to say that, he did put the museum. He did. He has a lot of other things, cultural shit in place to make me kind of not crucify him for bringing another fucking resorts to this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I dig it, and I'm happy it's not. If it's anybody, I'm happy it's not. Put it that way.
And you know what? For the sake of argument, you all being 100% correct. There's a chance that people can be displaced. And you know what? I'd love to see if the same energy will be kept from those who crucified the Jigga Man for what happened with the Barclays Center. Will you guys hold? You know what I mean? Because you know that there goes that word accountable. Are you gonna, if this does in fact happen, are you gonna hold him accountable? That is the question. My only pushback against Deanie is because it's Queens and it's not Brooklyn or even the Bronx. Queens, there's a lot of open areas that still truly haven't been touched by Queens. And let's take it to sports for a second. A lot of times when professional teams talk about, let's build a new stadium, they always think about Queens in New York City first before they decide. Like, I think the Jets were considering Queens for a second before they decided to re-up with the Giants and build the stadium. The Mets basically moved Shea Stadium to Citi Field, which is essentially across the street, but they had the open area to do so. In the last, I want to say 20 to 25 years, they kind of rebuilt the area around Flushing grounds where the tennis courts are. So there's real estate in Queens for you to do some shit like this. Think about where Resorts World was. It was there. They didn't really have to displace anybody. You know what I'm saying? Queens is one of the bigger boroughs, and there's a lot of open area in Queens to where they can pull this off. So I'll shoot the bail and say that if there's a borough to do this in, it's in Queens. Go ahead, Sam.
No. I was just seconding what you were saying, where Queens feels like a more open borough. There's definitely like pockets of Queens and areas of Queens where
definitely northern Queens by LaGuardia side.
It's a big borough, man. It's a big
not
borough.
Exactly residential. You know what I mean? There's a lot of open areas there that you can do things with. So yeah. So that's why I say it was like a slight concern, but like nothing that's weighing too heavy.
So looking at that, I'm like, this is exciting. This is what you're supposed to be doing as you continue to build that goodwill. You have the great creative run. Don't go into the shadows, because this world is not the world that we came up in. When you could disappearing back in the day, that actually made people want to see you more. The way everything is so algorithmic now that if you disappear, you just gone. And you basically, when you resurface, you're starting back from zero. So you kind of have to continuously do things to stay in the public eye and to also not allow people to fix their mouth to talk crazy about you because they don't see what's going on. So therefore, you're not doing nothing. Because we live in a world now, if they don't see you doing something, you ain't doing shit. So to continuously build up your resume is fire. And another thing, it shows for people who are of a certain age, it's never too late to level your shit up. If you lay the necessary groundwork, it don't matter if you're 30, 40, or 50 in Nas's case. If you lay the groundwork, your win will come and your championships will come. So just keep putting that work in, and you'll see it pay off. Not to be on my motivational shit, but again, there was times in his career people fronted or they thought he was the cook, and he's showing y'all like there's no such thing as from 30 to 35. This is the only time you can do some shit. If you put the work in, it could be whenever you want to do it. But shout out to Nas. You know what I mean? But there's more news in the ether, huh?
No pun intended.
Pun intended. Pun intended. That Nas might potentially be buying Rockefeller, and that takes us to our next topic here. Dame Dash and this whole thing with Cameron and Mace buying his share allegedly in Rockefeller, and then the rumors are that Cam and Mace are gonna sell it to Jay-Z. Dame Dash went so far as to post said rumor on his Instagram. I don't know who wants to go first. I know we all got bars. Mace, you was kind of animated about this. You know what I mean? Do you want to go first?
Though. Listen.
Bro.
I didn't hear that they was actually selling it to Nas. I heard they was selling it to the OVO captain. I heard that's with
what?
With Cam and Mace themselves that they wanted to sell it to the OVO captain. So I guess I guess I should go first if that's the case. Listen, man.
I didn't hear that.
That's what I heard on my side of the internet. We probably all heard different things. You know what I mean? It's probably a few people vying for that, that share of Rockefeller. I can imagine Nas, I can imagine Drake, you know what I'm saying? Like, a few folks. 50, I can see trying to get some of Rockefeller, you know what I mean? There's a few people that are upset with Jay-Z enough to try to get, some reason moved out. But my whole thing is this, right? You mentioned Job. You mentioned Dame, like, posting this online, like, like what Cam and Mace was doing. Like, Dame is trying to spin this into some sort of win. And I don't understand this. Dame, you were court ordered. You couldn't pay something else, Dan. You couldn't pay some other debt. You know that Dame got mad debts. You know what I mean? And I know Dame be on the internet. Dame might respond to this. You know what I mean? Dame might post this. You know what I mean? Dave, you can come up here. We can speak on
Pull
it.
up, Dave.
Pull up, Dave.
Nah,
you know
Dame could tell us we don't speak boss and we don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, listen, man.
You're working.
You can Google lawsuits. No, I don't owe nobody money neither. You know what I mean? But that's a whole nother story. Dame is trying to spin this to some
YouTube.
Y'all still got jobs.
He might need one,
man.
to cook.
Right, man. Listen, man. I can't listen, man. I might buy the Rockefeller shit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo,
fuck it. You know what I mean? Dave,
Take
this
a
is
pool.
not when the judge said you gotta pay. Like, this is one of the few things you have that's worth money, and you have to pay. I guess Cam and Mace bought it. I don't even know because it's going up to auction, right? Let's remember, this is like when your car gets repoed out of the lot because you can't pay, and so it's at the auction. So now I'm trying to get the Lexus that you couldn't pay for in the parking lot. That's what this is. The Rockefeller shares are the Lexus that got repoed out of Dave's parking lot. And somehow he's trying to spin this into some sort of win. So we can speak about who's going to buy the Rockefeller shares. Do Cam and Mace even really have it? You know what I mean? Because they were alluding to it. Is it true? We don't know. We know how Harlem niggas get no shots. Said, I'm sorry, bro. But we know how Harlem niggas be sometimes. So I don't even know if they have the Rockefeller shares. But my whole problem is Dame trying to spin this into some sort of victory as if they didn't like hold you by the ankles and shake these Rockefeller shares out your pockets, bro.
Wow. God damn. Mate, with the visuals.
Crazy.
Damn it.
Crazy.
Wow.
Like it's a Bugs Bunny cartoon, bro?
Yes.
Come on, man. Give me those.
You see some R coins coming out of his pocket.
You know what I mean?
Nasty.
Can I live in there?
Nasty.
Listen.
Matter of fact, go ahead, Sin. Go ahead.
Let's assume that this is. Let's assume it's real. Let's assume because like it was approached by I don't forgive me. I don't know Shorty's name from that Cam and May show, but she broached the question: is this true? And they were tee-heeing, laughing it up and shit. Like they wouldn't say one way or another if it's true or if it's false. You know what I mean? But let's assume like this actually happened. I respect it. We've been on Dame's head pause for quite some time. You know what I mean? The interviews talking shit about Jay and whatever constantly. But if this is in fact true, if he makes this move, I actually kind of respect it because Jay came to him and was like, yo, I'll give you like double what they're forcing you to pay. And he was like, nah, fuck you. Middle finger to Jay. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, the extra level of pettiness to sell it to Cam and Mace, two people who have historically had issues with Jay and vice versa, and keeping it, within Harlem. I love this move. If it's true, if it's real, I love the move. Now the thing about selling it to Nas, that's completely speculative. That's completely like, jumping out the window with it. I was watching the video. I don't even know where that part of it even came in, other than the caption. Who made that caption? Was it Dame that made that caption? I don't know. Completely speculative. But if this in fact does happen, if he does sell the Rockefeller shares to Cam and Mace, I respect it. Dame's ship seems to be going down, but he's gonna keep a middle finger up to Jay the whole time as he's going down. Fuck Jay, fuck Rock, fuck our history, fuck our relationship, fuck all that shit. Like, I'ma do what I want to do, and that's that.
Wow. You know what? I gotta give the flowers to Deanie because last week we was trying to, spin it positively and hope for a greater outcome. Basically, less than 7 days later, this news comes out. I think it was even 5 days later. This news came out. And it Cam and Mace to Sin's point, tee-heeing on this show. I got to give flowers to Dean. Dean said it ain't happening. So Deanie, the floor is yours, man. You see what's going on out here.
I'm a one up you, job. Not only did I say it wasn't happening, I said it word for word. He was better off hollering at Cam. Word for word. This was the discussion about could there be peace This is when I went negative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You say, could there be peace? I'm like, there is no peace.
In fact, you didn't go negative. You went accurate. You know,
I told you, negative shit happens.
Real, you know,
the negative shit tend to be the shit that happens often.
That's a fact.
This is genuine scorn, my nigga. Like I said, this isn't just two business partners. These are two niggas that have a real love-hate shit for one another. Like this is deeper than just like we talked about. Jim, Fat Joe, like, you know what I'm saying, those superficial beefs, those are like you winning at something that I want to be winning at, fuck you, and it's just like that. This is something else, bro. There's a lot of turmoil between these two niggas, a lot of energy, and that very scorn and energy they have to each other is basically why this is going on. And when, to be honest, when Hov said he wanted to restrict the sale, that's, to me, that was what I thought. Restrict the sale, so you can't sell it to no outside source. You have to sell it to somebody I acknowledge you to sell it to. And who would I acknowledge you to sell it to better than me? You know what I'm saying? I get my favorite album back. My company's whole once again. I can't lose. Selling it to Cam and Mace would be crazy, but you got to remember when they said they picked up Mark Jackson? He said, now this is allegedly from Cam. He said he went over there to pick up he went with $250K to go give Mark Jackson, so Mark Jackson joined the show. Mace said, you know what? We really need him. Holla at me. I'll give you $250K too. If we don't believe that Cam and Mace got $250K to give the niggas, you know what I'm saying? You don't know the hip hop industry the way you think you do. My nigga, you don't think them two niggas combined, especially with the bag they're probably getting from the It Is What It Is joint, that they couldn't afford to take this deal over? Come on, my nigga. Like
700 from Fabio, man.
Come on, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are not niggas that's pop. They could afford to do this deal, even if it's I give you something, I'll give you some, whatever they want to do. I think it's at this point anything, whatever, just so this nigga don't have it. I really feel like it's on that type of time. That's what I was telling Job. It's scorn, my nigga. This isn't just, you mentioned you and Lang. I was like, that's two niggas in a disagreement over like creative differences. These are two niggas that'll strangle each other if they was next to you. It's different energy, bro. I mean, I digress, Jarvie.
You know, I just, for the sake of facts, not like he cooked like that it ain't nothing but accuracy there. The only question I will have, because, you know, I'm not sure about the legal proceedings. Can Dame just sell it to Cam and Mace, or does it have to go through the legal proceedings of the auction? Is this just internet fodder to make sure Dame don't look broke?
I thought it had.
Does anybody know that?
If it's court ordered already, it has to go up to auction.
So here's we'll pin that. Chat, if y'all know better than us, cash in my props. He's gone quiet since Nas stopped recording. Cash in my props. If you happen to be watching this, you tend to know things that you're not supposed to know. Let us know in the comment section or DM us. Give us the knowledge that we need to have on this information, because if this is just another ploy by Dame to not look crazy on the internet, I'm gonna be upset. Because technically speaking, if the judge has ordered you to sell your shares in order to pay your debt, the judge kind of has to have a say in where the sale goes, no? Right? Like, that's just how I'm looking at it. I could be wrong because it is Dame's property. But once it becomes a legal proceeding, it seems like it's become the property of the state. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. But this whole thing with Dame Dash, bro, I'm not really trying to pile on, bro, but the problem with Dame in this industry is it's real easy to blame Jay-Z. We know everyone, a lot of like 95% of the people watching this pod blames Jay for Dame's situation, right? They never look. They always say, "Y'all always blame Jay," but y'all don't realize the fact that Dame is bad money out here. Certain people in this industry, they rub the wrong people the wrong way, not just Hov, but like whoever else that you were in cahoots with or in business with, and you rub them the wrong way, and they make it their life's goal to make sure that you're never in the league again.
Yeah.
Or if you are in the league, you're on the outskirts of said league. You'll never be at a certain tier. Look at Chris Brown. What happened with Rihanna and whatever. Chris Brown has made millions, right? But there's certain rooms that you just never see Chris Brown. You ever notice that Chris Brown, when he does get in trouble, he gets in trouble for doing regular nigga shit? Yeah. It's because there's that glass ceiling that he can't break through because of what took place with Riri. You know what I mean?
See how they curved him at the NBA joint.
Okay. Yeah. And he's done well. He's sold records. He's performed. He's gone on tour. But you're just not allowed to be next to people. We'll talk about Diddy in a second. Diddy, the glass ceiling is currently being built. He's cooked out here. You know what I'm saying?
Toast.
Dame Dash, on a much lower scale, has burned many bridges. He's bad money. And part of what he's doing with this Rockefeller shit or the story, the alleged story, is why he is in the position that he's in. Dame Dash does business, but it seems like when the shit gets very hot with him and certain people, he doesn't know how to do good business. It gets overly personal, bordering on emotional. If you sold this to Cam and Mace, this is emotional to me. You know what I'm saying? This is not good business. You know what I mean? Maybe he feels like I've already burned the bridge, so who gives a fuck? And then if that's the case, I gotta respect that because he's never getting back in. But the spirit of what y'all built, because you go on these podcasts and you talk about it, you built this, you did this for Rockefeller, da 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 da. But at the end of the day, you only have 1/3, and you selling it to Cam and Mace allegedly, and then you posting the story about the rumor that Nas is gonna buy it. Like again, let's be clear, like Nas and Jay-Z they're not beefing with each other. In fact, they have a pretty decent relationship. We're past that. So if you think that posting on Instagram or just selling to Nas is gonna piss Jay-Z off, you only look like a hurt boyfriend, like a hurt ex. You know what I'm saying? That's not good business. Don't sell it, even if you don't want to sell it to Jay. There's some consortium out there, some unknown party that you could sell this to and move on. Like who does this benefit? Like you want to look, you need to create this perception that like you're not bothered by Jay, or you could find some way to get one up on Jay because you're the better businessman. Yet to me, everything you do just looks emotional and petty. And that damn near pushing 60, diabetic, looking sicker every time you go on camera, you might want to start putting some goodwill out there, Dame. Nah, because it's like I'm speaking to Dame on a man-to-man level now because this is corny. I don't even care if you sell it to Jay. But doing this right here for the headlines and to look a certain way and then running up your IG live so you could get the love, niggas in the comments says, yeah, that's a superior chess move. How is this a superior chess? How does this hurt Jay-Z? Besides hurting his feelings, how does this impact him? You know what I'm saying? What's the chess move about this? Let me know, chat. Because I know some of y'all co-sign it like, this don't make sense. You know what I mean? It ain't like he's getting the chicken. He's selling his shit to pay a debt. He's not like, come on. Let's think rationally here.
And that's the whole thing, bro. Like, people automatically think that us criticizing Dame is connected to some sort of allegiance to Jay-Z. Listen, I'm right on board with Sin. I think Jay-Z's a bad guy, bro. Like, I never thought, we hope Nas is not like
you tippy-toed around it.
Come on, guys. Let's be honest here. I'm on the same level with you. Like, I hope Nas is not like Jay-Z, because Jay-Z brought that gentrification of Brooklyn, and Brooklyn ain't been the same since, bro. Like, I'm not here talking shit about Dame because I think they're two bad guys who had a disagreement, if you want me to be honest. But if we gotta be real here, just like Job said, speaking to Dame 101, Sin said, yo, he didn't sell it to Jay-Z for double. And like, that's why you fucked up now, nigga. Like, you should have sold it for double, bro. I be watching Choke No Joke, and he be telling stories about Dame thinking that hotels are too cheap, so he paid double to show that he got money like that. Dame is bad with money, bro. And he showed it countless times, my nigga. Like,
Dame
he
is
could be the most visionary,
money,
right? He might be the most visionary nigga ever, the most artistic nigga ever. He's the best scout in hip-hop history. That shit has him getting his shit taken by the judge, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So he needs a financial advisor, a buddy, a friend, a homie, somebody to get him out of this shit, man.
He needs a good wartime conciliary, bro. That's what's missing from him right now.
Come on,
he needs some guidance.
So here's the thing: as somebody that has like no dog in this fight, and I have no attachment to Dame or the golden years of the Rockefeller age or whatever. That's where my feeling comes from. Like, we've all gone through all of the stories with Dame being bad with money, being petty, you know what I mean? Like, just having Jay-Z's name in his mouth in every interview, you know, looking scorned, coming off as a scorned, you know, old friend or whatever. I'm kind of past that at this point. Like, that is who he is. And if that's going to be who you are, you might as well take it to the maximum level. You know what I mean? So, like, when it comes to the name Rockefeller, and if you have this problem that you clearly cannot get over with Jay-Z, your ex-partner, just own that. You know what I mean? At this point, just own that. And if you have to take it to the petty level, max 1,000, then just do that. You know what I mean? And go, as your ship is going down, just keep your middle finger up. Fuck it. That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Niggas is not above a good game of nah. You can't have it, nigga. Niggas is like they're not above it, bro. Like you can be 60 and it still go down like that.
And I feel
like I'm not looking at the game like be a better person.
Right.
No, that's
No.
shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, we passed that.
Scorn.
You know what I'm saying?
I just speak to him how I would speak to him if that was my man.
But the thing is, if you're gonna play chess to the people here in the comment section, right, and not here in this comment section, but in Dave's comment section, it's a chess move and whatever. Let's play the game. He sold it to Cam and Mace, right? Who would sell it to Nas? Cam has a good relationship with Jay-Z. Cameron is one of the most ruthless people in the history of hip-hop. If the number is right, he's selling it to Jay-Z because Cam is about his money.
Chicken.
If you love Cam, how I love Cam, who's followed his career, Cam is about his bread. Cam always finds his way to a bag. Like, to me, the difference between Cam and Dame is that when Dame goes down, like he just doubles and triple downs it down. When Cam gets down, he finds a way to claw back up. Think about horse and carriage era Cam. He was down by SDE. He was grinding, but the light wasn't the same. He found a way to grind his way to Rockefeller. Things got shaky at Rockefeller. He grinded his way over to Koch, made a big bag over at Koch. He's had so many different resurgences. Then he had the resurgence of Son from Harlem, the rapper was a homie named Vado. Another resurgence with Vado. Then we had a little brief Diplomat reunion. Then he disappeared for a few years. Then he was on Instagram going live, beefing with Jim, getting traction to his name. Then we had the verses where he made sure to not look crazy like the rest of the Dipset. Then he had another recreation now with Mace, his rekindling the friendship, got a big bag for the podcast. Like, Cam is not stupid. If Jay says, I'm giving you 5 M's right now, cash, I'm going to wire it to you. He's selling it. I think Nas will sell it to Hove too, because he don't really give a fuck. That shit is old work. Y'all celebrating something like this is what I always say, like, stay out of rich people business, because everybody has a dollar figure, okay? And they're gonna and if you reach that figure, they're gonna sell that shit. That's how I feel about that. Unless you know somebody who really hates Jay-Z, who will keep it just for spite outside of you, Dame, and when the judge tells you to send it off, all the niggas you talking about gonna sell it to Hove, in my opinion, if the price is right. That's all I gotta say about that. You know what I mean? Shit. Last but not least, we gotta get a little chatty before we get up out of here. Did he do it? Was Meek there? Was Chris Brown there? Was Usher there?
Ugh.
What's going on? This is a chatty boy segment that I wish we never had to talk about. This is borderline uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do it to Deanie and have him go first because
Thank you.
But there's a cousin, I believe, is it Young Miami's cousin? Am I getting this story right, Mace?
Yeah.
Young Miami's cousin is alleging that Diddy was essentially grooming him, having him watch pornographic videos of Stevie J, but it turned out it wasn't Stevie J. Had Cuba Gooding Jr. touching him inappropriately, and then playing around with Diddy touching him a certain way and labeling it horseplay. And there's a lawsuit there. More allegations. Then there's talk that Meek was essentially having relations with Diddy. He might have been a bottom. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? There's talk that a Philadelphia rapper and a pop. That's how it was in the legal paperwork. A Philadelphia rapper and a pop singer or something like that performing in the Super Bowl talking about Usher. Bro, Mace, what's happening? Like, at this point, we gotta pack Diddy up, just so that you don't have to talk about shit like this.
We ready? Listen, man, we done packed them up. Pause. You gotta pause everything after you say Diddy.
You gotta just say Diddy. Pause at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's gotta just be next to his name. Like,
damn it.
The Tilde and Beyonce, just put a pause above Diddy's name, bro.
Did they?
You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Did they?
Listen, man, like the hashtag allegation champion. LeBron almost got 40,000 points. Diddy got more than 40,000 allegations. Hashtag. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. They done pulled what they're now calling on the streets as the Freako on Diddy. You know what I'm saying? This guy.
The Freako?
The Freako.
The Freako.
Nah.
They you know what I mean? They pulling up receipts, videos are coming out, you know what I'm saying? All type of shit, you know what I mean? And I have no reason to believe this isn't true, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody coming out. Listen, you know, Meek Mill had a meltdown going at academics who just pointed out the legal paperwork, like you said, you know what I'm saying? Telling us how much he loves, you know, sleeping with women. He has to, you know, he loves it so much he even does it during the menstrual cycle. Meek Mill's off the rails, you know what I mean? Like, but I believe everything that anybody says about Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Young Miami, she's a part of it, you know what I mean? She's erasing pictures off her Instagram. The feds already got you in the Freako, Miami. I'm sorry.
It's over with.
It's over with. You know what I mean? They got the receipts. So, you know what I mean? These allegations, they just keep piling on Diddy. He's actually for reference, he's actually gone to TMZ and refuted these latest claims. Unlike the last 100 claims that came against you, where he just shut the fuck up and was looking sweaty, stressed on IG. He actually came out and said these were not true. What he said is that the women in the videos weren't minors. That's what he's established so far. So no, let's not say, you know, he's on that timing. No minors involved. Right. You know what I mean? Just a lot of, you know what I mean? A lot of crazy activity that I hope when Deanie talks about, he doesn't get us canceled.
Word, Deanie, what's going on here, man? The Freako.
They got him.
Yo, fork, knife, stick of fork in the steak, A1 sauce, Worcester, whatever you put on your shit, bro. It's
Worcester, bro.
Yo, whatever they call it, shit, bro. Yo, whatever you put on your steak, man.
Whoa.
Pack him up. It's over. Like on the last time we talked about this, I always said there's a way out of everything when you got a bag, bro. But this is just different. This is left, right, field coming allegations on top of allegations. I think Diddy's toast. I think he's toast, bro. First of all, Paul's dude name being Little Rod, who even came up with the allegation. That really does not help the situation the slightest. And I really felt bad for Meek and Usher as far as the way they were implicated in the document, bro. A Las Vegas resident singer who just did the Super Bowl, bro. Just say Usher, dog. A Philadelphia rapper named used to be with Nicki Minaj. Just
you
got to
make sure you don't get countersued, so you can't say their name. You can only make extreme implicit implications, you know.
Not Mace, just a nigga in the beige hoodie and the red do-rag. Like, come on, what are we doing out here? Like,
like a guy with a podcast with 3 other dudes who has the name of a rapper.
Right,
bruh. Like, come on, man. He's packed. He's packed. I can't see any way out of this, bro. This is too much. This is like every time you think there's a chance where maybe like almost no one talks about it. Maybe is it going under the rug? Is it slipping? Somebody new pops out, bro. Like and this brings me back to the deal. I mean, my lady was actually talking about it. We gave everybody their deal back, their little masters and all that. But a part of the masters was, yo, you can't talk about me, you can't talk about my son, all these things you can't do. So when these NDAs for getting these masters back, these people can't speak out to it, or else they'll be piling on, and I'll probably be another 20 artists or so who have something to say. Diddy's toasted, bro. Toasted. Yeah. It's over.
He's burnt toast. I'm like, you waited all these years to get back to masters. It's almost like he knew something was about to hit the fan, B. So, Sid, we know this is not your party. You know what I mean? If you want to stay redacted from this conversation, you can.
Listen,
jump in, Sin.
I have thoughts. One, I'm a little sad that we're probably not gonna ever get that Diddy and JD versus. Not only because versus is dead as a platform.
Oh yeah,
but we ain't never having Diddy like. You know, having no performances ever again.
What was that Diddy performances?
Yikes.
Ouch.
Listen, Diddy needs to go. Diddy needs to go somewhere. You know what I mean? And this is somebody that as somebody who, because I run in very sort of backpackery circles on the internet, on Twitter. I've everything that anything wrong that you could say or bad that you could say about Diddy, like I've seen it, I've heard it, and every now and then I would always like throw my little cape on, like, yo, but Diddy, you know what I mean, like the Bad Boy era, and it was legendary. What a run! He gave us Biggie, he gave us Black Rob, he gave us Mace, he gave us the Locks. Look, there's not enough bail to throw for Diddy anymore. He needs to go. He needs to go wherever Russell Simmons is at. Russell Simmons needs a friend. He needs a partner. He needs some type of partner that can keep him some company. But even when we think about like the allegations against Russell Simmons, it doesn't even seem half as heinous as the allegations against Diddy. So it's like we need to find somewhere new for Diddy. Like some sort of secluded island where we can hide him out. Maybe not even on this planet. You know what I mean? Holla at Elon
Puffstein Island, bro.
Holla at Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. You know what I mean? Get yourself in a rocket ship. Find yourself a nice little planet. You know what I mean? I don't know, but he needs to go somewhere, man.
Nice little universe.
Heinous. He needs to find somewhere else to go.
Puff gotta live in the quantum realm, bro.
Listen, as far as the Meek Mill thing, I think he does protest a little too much, especially looking at these tweets. That whole tweet when he was like, "Yo, when I got a girl around me, I'm fucking her twice a day, running red lights."
Don't explain it to us, bro.
Like, you mean like regular?
Don't convince us, my nigga.
Everybody does. I run red lights. Like, bro, everybody runs red lights. Who are you talking to, bro? What are you talking about? You trying to convince us?
Bro. His brother said it's so warm and juicy, man. Like, what?
Yo.
What?
Yo,
like,
wicked.
And then the album.
Your pot is off the rail.
Heathenism. Yo, when I swear to God, when I saw that the title was called Heathenism, the first thing I thought was like, yo, that's like when OJ named his book If I Did It. Like, what are you doing, Meek? And then the first song is called Came From the Bottom.
Not helpful.
What are you doing, Meek? What are you doing? Meek gotta go with wherever Puff goes. Puff, take Meek with you. Like, we don't need him.
Nah.
I heard the EP. That shit was mid, super mid. So,
Meek is not in a good musical bag.
That shit was trash, bro.
Listen, I was trying to give it some bail. It was pretty whack. He thinks it's still 2013 with the music and sound that he's making.
It's tough crowd out here, B.
Yeah,
First of all, we're not sending Meek off this planet. Like Meek is not going to the new Elon planet. He's not going to no islands. We need Meek on the internet every day because whether he means to be or not, he's one of the funniest people alive, bro. Like the way he picked on poor academics. I can't even do that. Ag is usually the pot stirrer. Ag just reported the news. Poor Ag catches strays, direct shots, even not even a stray. Like all he did was read the document. Like you in it, gang. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like you dropped this EP, Heathenism, the first track, crazy. But then it's the memes. Like, and it's not even like memes where people are making up or like they're pretending to be Meek. It's the video footage of him with Puff that looks crazy. The photos with it, where they had the matching outfit. There was one video I seen where it was like when he was in the pool, he was like he had the coolest shit off.
Bro, yeah, like it was sore. Yeah, put ice on it. Like, come on, dogs, what are we doing out here? Someone's laying all awkward in the water. It didn't look comfortable, man. Very uncomfortable.
And you know what? I don't care what people's preferences are. I do not give a damn. I know what I like, and that's all that will ever matter to me. Well, what I do like is some good unintentional comedy. And this whole story with Meek and all the memes, bro. I cried when I seen that pool shit because I always felt like he looked crazy sitting in the pool by himself with Puff, and I'm like, yo, nah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, Puff, man, like I feel for you, B, and not in a way where it's sympathetic, but it's just like, bro, like this shit really hit the fan. And you tried to get in front of it. You threw the bread at Cassie. You gave niggas the Masters back. You said I'm not going to the Grammys. You tried to do. We ain't get no Rock Nation merch because you wasn't there. You know what I mean? It's like, fam, it's over. Like honestly, even if he is innocent, he's lost the war of perception, and people always thought he was a bandit anyway. Y'all know what I'm saying. There's been stories about Puff when it comes to that, since I was a kid. Put it like that. Like in my mid to late teens, I was hearing stories about that when it comes to this guy. You know what I'm saying? They're saying that this man is the ultimate predator. Like you could almost do like a whole season of SVU with the Diddy stories. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, whether true or not true, when you got this much smut on your name, unless you get 100% vindication, that's no like disprovable. You got the footage, you got every receipt possible, bro. You're always going to be viewed as a predator. So it's best to just go somewhere. You have the money, buy an island. You know what I'm saying? And just go ahead, get off the internet, or create some burner accounts, and just do it like that. Do what rich people do when shit hits the fan. Disappear, because you can afford to disappear. And at this point, you have to disappear. You know what I mean? The stories about your son and somebody getting shot, you telling the homie to lie, but I mean, it's too much. It's too much, B. I'm sorry. And now you got Usher looking crazy, but there's been allegations about Usher too. You know what I'm saying?
Because Diddy said I used to sleep in the bed with him. It's because of Diddy.
Look, we gotta understand, Usher has been in the industry since 14 years old, bro.
Yeah.
He was on the Poetic Justice soundtrack in 93. So like, you gotta think a young dude like that blew up the way he did, like the shit that he's seen and probably been groomed into and been around, like, shit, man. Like I'll be telling Job, like, yo, like the higher up we get, the weirder shit we're gonna see. You know what I mean? And like the levels that they're at, like the weirdness levels are on 100,000 trillion.
I'm cool.
Shit.
Notice that nobody says, everybody says I'm innocent of the allegations. Nobody says, yo, why are you saying that about me and Puff? Word. Nobody is saying Puff is not on anything, bro.
Bro, he's not getting no bail from anyone, B.
Not one person.
When it's this quiet, that means somebody guilty. You know what I mean? It's over.
He's called it, man. When he said, it's a crazy position to be in where like anything anybody says about you is believable. That's scary, bro. That's a dangerous position.
You gotta go. You gotta just leave now. You got no equity. It's over with. But anyway, we're gonna end this chatty patty segment right here. The chatty boys in the building. This has been the lunch hour. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Roundtablemerch.com. Cop up. We about to sell out, but make sure you cop up. You see the crown, put that on your head. We're proud of it. We got people in music videos rocking it. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we're in music videos rocking it. Shout out to OT The Real. If you ain't seen that video, the Rap Roundtable's in that video. You know what I mean? Make sure you cop up. If you're feeling generous, hit the Rap Roundtable.
Rocking it.
Come on now. Shit, right? You know what I mean? Shout out to Al. I'll take back everything I ever said about you, Al. You know what I mean?
Except for about that fedora, but we love you, brother.
The hat is never sanctioned. I'm sorry. But go to Cash App if you're feeling generous. Hit us off. You know what I mean? We appreciate it. Pause, because we just talked about Diddy. Now I feel crazy saying anything that's remotely possible. You know what I mean? But Deanie, take us home, man.
Yo, salute to the chat. You heard that, brother. Roundtablemerch.com. Get yourself a trucker. We got a lot of shit on the way. Everything y'all send us goes right back into the brand. Salute to Jav, the point guard. Salute to Sincere, the rap snob. Salute to Mecito, the voice. I'm Deanie, the balance. And this is that good Friday lunch hour, y'all. Salute. Peace. Boom. Rap Roundtable.